Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to let you know where I think Fortinet stock could be by the end of 2024. Of course, Fortinet stock is on my list of top 24 stocks to buy in 2024. I'll link to that video at the end of this one. I recommended Fortinet stock late in 2023. If you remember, if you've been following Fortinet stock, after the company reported a disappointed earnings report, the stock price crashed by a little over 20%. And I not immediately, but in the days following that stock price crash, I recommended Fortinet stock as a buy, and it's rebounded from that bottom. So it's recovered from that bottom. Still, I think the stock is still a buy, and in this video, I'll let you know where I think the price target is. So let's get into the details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so one of the numbers I'm going to need to make this stock price prediction is Fortinet's current share price, and right now it's trading at $69 per share. You can see that stock price crash in 2023 after the company reported a disappointing quarter. It fell from around $80 per share down to about $50 per share. I recommended the stock as a buy around this time frame here, and in 2024, I upgraded it to one of my top stocks to buy. So here I recommended it as a buy, and then here I recommended it as one of my top stocks to buy. So far, it's performed well. I think there's room to go, and we're going to see just how much room I think there is for Fortinet stock. Right. Another one of the numbers I'm going to need is its forward price to earnings ratio. It's currently trading at a forward PE of 35, which you can see is right about the average in terms of its valuation going back all the way to January 2021. You can see it was trading at a lower valuation in January and for the early parts of 2021, and then briefly again in early parts of 2023, and then in late 2023 the stock was trading at a cheaper valuation. And then there were moments where it was significantly more expensive. In July of 2023 it was trading at a forward PE around 48, and in late 2021 it was trading at a forward PE around 60. But remember, that was when there was a frenzy around any kind of stock, investment, growth stock, anything that had investment or potential investment was soaring in 2021. That was a phenomenal year for all kinds of investments, and I think a little bit of too much enthusiasm. I had not recommended Fortinet stock at a buy then, and I only recently upgraded Fortinet stock to a buy when its valuation came down to more reasonable levels here. Now, another thing I'm going to need is Fortinet's earnings per share estimates for 2025. Of course, if I'm trying to make a stock price prediction for 2024 using the forward price to earnings ratio, I need the earnings per share estimate for 2025 because I'm using the forward PE ratio. So those earnings per shares estimate for 2025 is right here. And Wall Street analysts that are following Fortinet stock expect it will deliver $1.95 in earnings per share in 2025. And that's expected to grow in 2026 to $2.50, which would be up significantly from 2024, which is expected to bring in $1.71. Earnings per share estimates are robust for Fortinet stock. Remember, these are estimates coming from the Wall Street analysts that are following Fortinet stock, but nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. These are just their forecasts. And then this number here is a consensus estimate from all of the forecasts from those analysts that are following Fortinet stock. Okay, so now that we have the numbers in place, we can go ahead and make this stock price prediction for Fortinet stock in 2024. Of course, the $1.95 earnings per share number, that's the number I have here, EPS $1.95 expected. The PE forward of 35, that's the current valuation of Fortinet stock. I rounded it down to a forward PE of 35 here. So if the company stays on course to deliver $1.95 in earnings per share in 2025 and the valuation stays the same, the stock price could reach $68.25 by the end of the year. But if you're paying attention, you will realize that's actually a stock price decrease. So since I'm recommending the stock as a buy and I'm putting it in my list of top stocks to buy, I'm clearly not forecasting that the stock price is going to decrease, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have it in my list of top stocks to buy. Rather, I think the valuation is going to increase. I think Fortinet's forward PE is going to increase as the year progresses, and I'll share with you why I think that's the case. But let's look at the scenarios here. If the forward PE increases to 40, the stock price could rise to $78 per share. That would be a nice increase from the $69 per share it's currently trading at now, a more than 10% increase. But if the forward PE rises to 45, then the stock price could rise to $87.75. But in the worst case scenario I have modeled here, if the forward PE were to fall to 20, then the stock price could fall to $39 per share, a significant decrease from where it's at now. I don't think that scenario is likely. However, that's just a scenario that I wanted to bring in, that I wanted to highlight just so investors can see what could happen if the valuation were to fall considerably. Now, a lot would have to go wrong for Fortinet's value forward PE to fall to this level, but that doesn't mean there's a 0% chance. This is a non-0% chance that it will happen. Still, I don't think it's one of the more likely scenarios. I think a more likely scenario is Fortinet's forward PE ratio rising to somewhere between 40 and 45, a PE of somewhere between 40 and 45. And let me highlight why I think that's the case. So here I have Fortinet's forecasts for 2024, 2025, and 2026. And what you're going to see is something really interesting. This is something that's rare, and this is something highly desirable. You're going to see Fortinet's top and bottom line, revenue and earnings per share, growth expectations are increasing. The second derivative rate of growth is increasing, right? So not only is Fortinet going to increase by 9%, 13%, and 15% revenue, but you could see that rate of growth is increasing from 9 to 13.5 to 15.4. So solid growth on the top line, but that growth is also increasing. That's desirable. Similarly, for earnings per share, 5% growth expected in 2024, which is expected to jump to 13.7% in 2025, and then 28.2% in 2026. Again, the rate of growth is increasing. In fact, the rate of growth is more than doubling in each of the next 2 years, right? From 5 to 13.7, that's a more than double increase. From 13.7 to 28.2, again, more than double the year prior. Excellent feature of an investment. That's rare to find. A combination of an investment doing this type of growth, but also trading at a reasonable valuation. When you see these types of growth expectations, typically the stock is trading at a very expensive valuation, a very expensive forward PE ratio. That's not the case with Fortinet. It's still trading at a reasonable valuation at a forward PE of 35, which is why I expect this forward PE to increase as Fortinet moves along the year and as it demonstrates that indeed these forecasts from Wall Street are becoming more and more likely. As it continues, every month that goes by, every quarter that goes by, every report that Fortinet releases that jives with these estimates, that matches with these estimates, the probability of these estimates increase, and thereby the valuation I expect will increase for Fortinet. So those are the reasons why I think Fortinet's valuation will increase. And so for the actual stock price, my estimate would be that by the end of the year, Fortinet's stock price will be between $79 per share and $84 per share, between $79 and $84 per share. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.